This is going to compare the iPad Pro 12.9-inch with the Magic Keyboard and the 11-inch iPad Pro with the Smart Keyboard Folio. Right off the bat, there's a big difference in size. You can see the 11-inch, much smaller. There's a gap actually between on this new Magic Keyboard where it raises it up, so it feels even bigger, like a really big laptop actually, because it's raised up off the top, whereas this just sits flat. This will tilt, so you can tilt it back and forward. I wish it tilted a little bit further. The tilt is almost identical to the max tilt that was available in the Smart Keyboard Folio, maybe a couple degrees more, but not substantial. You can't go any further back. I wish it did, but that's as far as it'll go. So you have a big difference there. The keyboard itself does feel good to use. So you're sitting here and you type it on this thing. You can even hear how that sounds compared to this here. Just sounds different, feels different. This feels, the new Magic Keyboard feels like a regular laptop. Really nice, really feels good to use. Definitely recommend it from just a feel perspective. This is mushy. It's usable, but it's not something you're gonna want to write long articles with. Can get you by just sending messages here and there, but nothing that you're gonna want to use for an extended period of time. This obviously has a touchpad interface as well, and you can see that you can go up there, you can click on things, and it actually, you have to use a full press, not just a tap. Tap doesn't work. It's got to be a full press so you can get the click. Gives you that click feedback. And you can also click on this little bar where you would normally swipe up to take you back to the home screen. So just some pretty nice design interface changes there. You can see you can click on apps to launch them. You go back, and then as you go over these icons below, the little cursor disappears, and it just like shakes these apps a little bit so you know which one you're on. So that's somewhat weird to use at first, but you get used to it. And so that's the touchpad. It does give up, the whole interface overall gives up portability. So if you're comparing these two, just know that this thing is big. If you're looking to go from 11 to a 12, you're going to give up some portability, especially in weight. This 11-inch setup, it weighs 1.5 pounds. This essentially 13-inch setup, that weighs 3 pounds, which is more than a lot of laptops. So you got to consider, is it worth, going to something like this, or just to bring a laptop with you that'll be fully featured and have everything in there. Now, maybe you need the iPad for just drawing on there. Maybe you have an Apple Pencil and you just want to write on there, and you want the bigger screen for writing things out. It is better for writing notes on paper or drawing, for sure. That's the thing. And maybe you also want to use a keyboard at the same time to do blog articles. Maybe you're drawing and you're blogging at the same time. Who knows? That could be a great setup. But for portability, reading articles, generally using something you just want to grab and go, this 11-inch is much more portable for that purpose. And so is more like a tablet. This is almost like you're talking $1,000 at minimum for the computer, for the tablet itself, and another $350 for the keyboard. So you're looking at the cost of a laptop right there, and maybe this is a little bit more than what you need. One of the big disadvantages to this new Magic Keyboard is it does not fold underneath it the way the Smart Keyboard Folio is. This is it. You can't do any further. You got to remove this thing from the back, just like that, in order to use it in tablet mode, which then exposes this side if you put it down to scratching. So that's a big difference from before. It snaps right back in real easy. From before, where you could just flip this thing around, and there you go, keys are on the bottom. This goes like that, and you're protecting the bottom. You can put that down on something and you don't have to worry about it scratching. That is not the case now. You know, but again, you only had two angles here. This angle, which I've never used, and this angle here, which is the more commonly used one, at least for me. And so that correlates into the maximum distance on the tilt here. So the distance on the tilt's about the same between the two. On there, you can't go any further. I was really hoping it was going to go a little bit further when I'm standing up and putting this on a counter. I could use a little bit more tilt there. I kind of expected that to be part of the situation, but it isn't. That's as far back as it will go. But it is neat to use. It folds flat. It makes a nice satisfying thump when it goes down, which is a little bit different from this one. You can tell that just is hitting right on top of the keys. But on this new Magic Keyboard, it's not resting on the keys. There's actually a ledge right there. You can see where the keys are recessed underneath this ledge, so that when this comes down, it's sitting right on that pad instead of the keys themselves, which is an advantage. Overall, you can tell it's definitely a lot bigger and bulkier. It's heavier, but it has more capability, and it's up to you to decide if that capability is worth it.